Hey, what's up, guys? I hope this video finds you well. You're on another Pendadis video for the tutorial, the complete tutorial of Emby. I'm trying to cover all the, I will say, all the different concepts, settings, and everything you need to know about Emby to be a complete Emby master, I will say. So I will do a little introduction on how Emby is managing its different streams and the streaming technology from Emby. And for that, I will show you this setting here. As you can see, I went directly on the Manage Emby server here, and I clicked on Transcoding on the left, and I am following here. Before going through all this stuff here, I think it's important for you to understand how MB is handling the streaming and what are the different concepts. So let me just draw a little schema here. So MB is composed, as you know, is composed of different parts. So you have the MB server. Okay, so everything is stored there. You have your movies, you have TV shows, musics, and whatever you want. Okay, you know already that because you watched my previous video, so you have all the details there. Especially the first video where I am doing the schema also to explain you all this stuff, so you know that already. You have different clients. I don't know, iOS, client Android. I would just get some example, okay? Just, it won't be long. I'm almost finished. And you have like a client, I don't know, Fire TV, okay? Okay, just as an example, you have, I'm just taking all this example, but you have a lot of clients available for MB, so, but I'm just limiting it, okay? And so it's only the software part, but you have also the device. For iOS, you have like the iPhone, you have the iPad, and you have like different iPhone. You have the iPhone X, you have the iPhone, a lot of iPhone, like 6, if we're going older, 5S. For the iPad, you have like the iPad Mini, Mini 2. This one was 2014, I think. You have the iPad, the last iPad, like the iPad Pro, the normal iPad, like the 10 inches thing. Anyway, I'm not specialist of iPad, but yeah. The client Android is like a big mess because Android is able to run on different devices. So Android is able to run on I would say a lot of phones. You have a version for the PC architecture also, so it's able to run on PC on whatever you want, on TV also. So you have a lot of devices for Android. So Android, I think, is like the most difficult one uh, for for streaming technology point of view. And you have like the Fire TV, and the Fire TV is coming with its own on device architecture, whatever, even if it's running through on the base of the Fire TV is like Android, but anyway. And you have also for the client iOS, you have also the Apple TV, okay? The Apple TV that recently, not recently, I think it's more the iPad. iPad has like the iPad OS, now. It's like Apple TV has like the Apple OS. iPhone, it's like still iOS, and iPad is like iPad OS now, something like that. Okay, so every device has its own, uh, I would say, operating system and architecture, and simply I will resume it by specific device. The streaming technology is very, I will say it's very tough and it's super touchy because if you want to if you want to stream from any server to any kind of device, you have to take into account the end user because the end user is determining how the playback will perform in terms of quality, in terms of playback itself. Will it be smooth or very slow, laggy, or something like that? Will it buffer a lot? I will have some issue with the playback or not. So a lot of different components uh, have to be taken into account. And when we are talking about streaming, we are talking about device, I will say device performance. We're talking about player, so the software portion, so the player capabilities. We're playing also, sorry, we're talking also about network. So it's involved the bandwidth, it involves also like stuttering, hiccup, things like that. So all these concepts are here to show you that it's not very easy to determine um, how the playback should be played, how the stream should be configured before um, before sending the stream directly to the client. So all these different components and factors are taken into account every time Emby is sending any stream to a final client device. And to do that, Emby is taking three kinds of decisions, I would say, before sending the stream. Should it play directly? Should it play um, just by extracting the video content and streaming it live? So it's like if the container is not supported by the final device, it will extract it on the fly. It's like CPU. It's super light for the CPU, and usually it's what's used when you have like the Apple player, okay, like on Mac or on other Apple devices. Or should it transcode? And this one is a more CPU intensive, definitely. Okay, so the direct playing here is super easy to understand. It's like you are like on Android or now iOS. It's more recent, but Emby is supporting a new video player that is MPV. So you can do direct playing now on iOS devices like Apple TV, iPhone, or iPad. So the direct playing is just taking, like, I would say, an MP4 or an AVI or whatever, and sending right away the content to the device. No transcoding, no changes, no compression, nothing here. Just direct playing what it has from the server. Okay? The direct streaming, as I explained you, is like, let's say you have a device playing only MP4, and you have an MTV file. So the MTV file is like a container of movie and subtitles and things like that. So it will extract on the fly. It will extract on the fly the content and send it as an MP4, sorry, an MP4 format to the client. So it's not so CPU intensive. It's usually it's not taking like more than 5% of your CPU. It's super fast. And the last one is like when Emby doesn't have any other solution and is not able to direct play or direct stream, Emby will do a transcoding, which is more CPU intensive, depending on your CPU. And this one is more tough because Emby has to take a decision based on the different factors that I explained to you before, like the device performance, like the player capabilities, and especially for this one is like more the bandwidth. So let's say you have like the 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 megabit per second of your video is like 8, and the player is allowed to play 5 megabits. So what will happen in your opinion? I will say, I will give you the answer right away, don't worry. The MB server will start transcoding the file. So it will take the file, compress it, and it will send it at 5 megabit per second to the device. The little drawback, usually we don't see anything different, but the little drawback is the quality. The quality could be inferior to the original quality. Okay, so it means that you're losing some quality in this kind of transcoding transfer. Okay, it's CPU intensive, so it could lead to a server performance issue, especially when you have several streams requiring transcoding at the same time. Your server would just blow up. And I think that's it for the schema. So if we are going back, now you understand the concept. If we're going back to the transcoding tab here in the settings, you can see that Emby is trying to find any hardware acceleration that it can have on your server, and if it's not possible to have any hardware acceleration, like the GPU or something else like the Intel or Radeon or anything you can find, you will use. But if it's not possible, it will use the CPU instead. If I click on Advanced, I can see that on my computer I have all this stuff here. So it's like Radeon graphics, whatever. So I can say that's like shit because I am on a laptop, and on my laptop I don't have a lot of hardware acceleration anyway. But MB will try to use it. If you have an NVIDIA I recommend you to use the NVIDIA NVENC or decoding system that is it's like it's like a on chip on your computer, um, on your video card. Sorry, it's like a chip directly on your video card. It's very great to use it because it's super powerful, and it will offload definitely your CPU. You can specify a transcoding thread count if you don't want your CPU to burn. But at the same time, if you limit too much this one, I would say that the transcoding could fail or the different clients will just stutter in the playback. So you don't want that too. You can change the transcoding path, temporary path. You can enable the throttling. I really recommend it because the throttling is like at the beginning of any playback, it will start. So it will start transcoding as hell, as maximum. It will use as hell your CPU to transcode that for 300 FPS or something like that. But after that, when the playback position is like at the beginning and you already transcoded, I don't know, like the 5 next minutes, it's not necessary that your CPU is going as hell. It's not necessary that your CPU is used a lot at this time because the playback is really before the transcoding position itself. So it doesn't need to be that way. If you're unchecking that, just to give you the other side, if you are unchecking that, your CPU will be used at nearly 100% to transcode all the movie in advance. And let's say your user is watching 15 minutes. All the transcoding is already done for the whole movie. And at 15 minutes of playback, your user is saying, I stop playing this movie. You would have used a lot of CPU for nothing. You understand my point? So I would say that checking this one is not a bad idea, usually. It could lead to some weirdness, I would say, some bugs or something like that, but usually it's working well. You can have an audio boost when you don't mix. So if you want to know the books here, boost. You have the H264 encoding preset if you want this stuff to be faster or not. If you want like ultra fast, it will use less your CPU, but the quality will be less. And it's the same here for the CRF. Usually, I wouldn't recommend to change anything here for these two parameters, but sometimes with specific CPU, I would change it to use less CPU if you have a very old CPU. But at the same time, if you don't have any issue, if everything is working well, don't touch anything. If you want to touch something, please go on documentation on internet or the Emby community, and everyone will be able to help you. And this one is like allowing subtitle extraction on the fly. So it could be extracted from video and delivered to Emby apps in plain text. If you are unchecking that, it will burn directly the subtitles into the video. So it will require more transcoding if you are unchecking that. Okay? And after that, you just click on save. Anyway, I didn't change anything. So I hope you liked this video. I hope you understand now better what are the concepts of transcoding, direct stream, and direct link from Emby. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you enjoyed this video, I would like you to not forget to subscribe to my channel because I have a lot of great stuff coming and I don't want you to miss anything. So thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video where I will be talking about installing your first plugins and give you some advices on the different plugins and a better overview. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.